Hello, my friends, my emotional support gremlins, my little chaos enthusiasts who come here to witness family disasters that make your own life look surprisingly functional. Welcome back.
Get comfortable. Grab a snack. Hydrate. Turn off notifications from that one ex who only texts when Mercury is in retrograde. Because today I'm serving a public service announcement of uselessness, wrapped in betrayal, dipped in family dysfunction, and topped with the moist cherry of identity theft for boob money. Welcome to the show.
Before we go any deeper, yes, babes, do the ritual. Hit like, drop a comment, share this with a friend who claims their family is complicated, but honestly has no idea. And of course, subscribe. Because I promise you, this story is unhinged in the most gourmet way possible. All right, my sweet disasters, let's begin.
Lucia lived in a tiny rented room like New York tiny, where if you stretched both arms out, you could touch two walls and a disappointing life decision at the same time. But it was hers. Her sanctuary. Her emotional bunker built of cheap furniture and big dreams. Lucia worked as a freelance graphic designer, which, my friends, is basically living in survival mode with extra steps. Late invoices, picky clients, and caffeine replacing your bloodstream. You know the usual. But even with the chaos, she had a mission. Buying her own apartment. A humble one. Not a luxury penthouse. Not a glamorous loft. Just a small attic studio where nobody would hear her neighbor dragging furniture at 2 a.m. like they were rearranging trauma. She saved every extra dollar. She planned. She sacrificed. She said no to brunch, no to vacations, no to impulse shopping, and yes to being a responsible adult. Tragic, I know. Everything was building toward this one thing. Her mortgage approval. And then came Tuesday. A Tuesday that already smelled like misfortune. Because sitting on her table, like a venomous little rectangle of doom, was a letter from the bank. Lucia opened it with trembling fingers. And inside, denied. Bold letters. Black ink. Painful. Why? Why? Let me prepare you to hold your emotional support beverage. A medical debt of $6,000 in her name. Lucia froze. She had never had surgery, never had a medical procedure, and never even had a bill that big in her life. And yet, there was that resisting explanation, that destroying her credit score like a sledgehammer. To my friends. You know that sinking feeling when something horrible happens and you know deep down this is only the beginning, yet at that. And now, enter Paula, the younger sister, the golden child, the family's walking Instagram filter, the girl who could sneeze and her mother would frame it while Lucia worked late nights. Paula lived like a sponsored influencer. Shopping, partying, posing, repeating that Lucia was the responsible one, that Paula was the oh honey, she just needs support one. And suddenly, a memory resurfaced. A letter from a cosmetic clinic had arrived at her parents' home weeks earlier addressed to Lucia. When she asked, her mother casually tore it in half and said, "Oh, sweetie, it's just advertising. Don't worry about it. But now, Lucia realized something horrifying. It wasn't advertising, it was a warning. Lucia searched the clinic online. And there it was. Breast augmentation, $6,000. The exact debt amount. The puzzle pieces snapped violently into place. Paula's new confidence, her new posture, her new cleavage, making more public appearances than she did. Paula had claimed it was a miracle push-up bra. Sure, babe, and I become a millionaire every night when I close my eyes. Lucia's chest tightened, her stomach knotted, her thoughts spun. She wanted to call, she wanted to scream, she wanted to demand answers, but she knew exactly what would happen. Oh, honey, you're overreacting. You're the strong one. Your sister needed this. Don't make a scene. Be understanding. Be understanding? Be understanding of fraud. My friends, if someone ever tells you to be understanding about a crime they committed against you, run. Run emotionally. Run physically. Run spiritually. Lucia didn't run. She planned. Silence became her weapon. A very sharp one. If you're still here, my friends, you clearly love the drama. So hit that like button and feed my chaotic storyteller soul. The next morning, Lucia's phone buzzed. MOM calling. Lucia inhaled the way people breathe before walking into an exorcism. "Hi, sweetie." Mama chirped, all cheerful. Lucia murmured a neutral hi, already bracing herself. Mama talked about nonsense at first. Neighbors, weather, a new recipe. You know, classic avoidance behavior. And Paula is so happy, sweetheart. That little change she made, it gave her life. Little, Lucia felt her soul leave her body, a $6,000 stolen identity, a destroyed mortgage, a life plan shattered. A little changed, my friends. I don't know about you, but that would have been my villain origin story. Lucia hung up quietly, decisively. She didn't cry, she didn't break. She transformed. A few days later, the bank sent her the documents. Lucia opened the PDF. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Inside was her full name, to her DOB, her address, her old ID number, a photocopy of her lost ID card, the financing contract, and finally, the forged signature, a signature she recognized instantly. Paula had practiced it as a teenager. She used to sign homework for fun. Lucia knew those curves, those shaky strokes. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a mistake. This was a crime, and not a small one. Lucia stared at the document, feeling a clarity she had never felt before. Her silence had become armor. Now, it would become ammunition to a new message from Mom. "Sweetie, we're having a special dinner for Paula this Saturday. She's feeling amazing. You must come. Amazing, right? Amazing on stolen credit," Lucia typed. "It'll be there, short, cold, resolute, because she wouldn't arrive as the good daughter anymore. She'd arrive as the storm." Lucia didn't sleep well the days leading up to the infamous celebration dinner. Who could? Try falling asleep knowing your sister stole your identity to finance her breasts, and your mother helped cover it up. It's basically melatonin-resistant trauma. She spent hours scrolling through documents, rereading the forged signature, replaying her mother's voice calling the situation a little change. Every moment felt like pressing a bruise just to confirm it still hurt. And it did, oh boy, it did. But the thing about pain, my friends, sometimes it sharpens you, sometimes it molds you, sometimes it turns you into someone dangerous in the best possible way. Lucia was turning. On Friday morning, one day before the dinner, Lucia received yet another message from her mother. "Sweetie, can you pick up dessert for tomorrow? Something nice. Paula loves chocolate mousse. Chocolate. Mousse chocolate. Mousse, as if Lucia were the designated emotional maid of the family. As if she didn't have bigger concerns than serving dessert at a celebration for a crime committed against her. Lucia stared at the message, then typed back, "Sure. It'll bring exactly what's needed." Her mother sent a heart emoji, Paula sent a sparkle emoji. The irony nearly knocked Lucia out. Lucia woke up on Friday with a clarity that felt strange. Not the stressed out, overwhelmed clarity. And not the everything is falling apart soul at Macry and Timipolo clarity. This was different. This was surgical precision. Cold. Focus. Empowered. She showered, got dressed in clean, simple clothes, put her hair up, and walked to the police station like someone walking toward a destiny she had avoided for years. When she arrived, the air was thick and stale, as if 1,000 unresolved problems floated above the waiting benches. A female officer approached. "What can I help you with?" Lucia didn't hesitate. "I'd like to report identity theft and document forgery." Her voice didn't shake. Her hands didn't tremble. She felt powerful, like she finally stepped into the version of herself she had buried under years of being the strong one, the responsible one, the understanding one. She handed over the documents. The officer flipped through each page carefully. "And who do you believe did this?" Lucia answered clearly. "My sister." There was out loud, real. Official. The officer nodded slowly, took notes, and said the words that made something inside Lucia finally exhale. "Yes. This is a clear case of identity theft and forged documentation." Lucia left the station with a stamped copy of the report, a piece of paper heavier than guilt, heavier than resentment, heavier than all the years she had carried emotional responsibilities that weren't hers. For the first time, the system carried some of the weight. If you, yes you, my little chaos connoisseur, have made it this far, hit that like button to support this public service of emotional storytelling. It fuels me, it feeds me, it keeps me alive. And now back to the flames. Friday night, Lucia printed everything. The mortgage denial, the clinic financing contract, the fake signature, the copy of her old ID, the police report. Each sheet felt like a weapon, like armor, like truth solidified in ink. She placed them neatly into a transparent folder, polished, organized, and terrifyingly calm-looking. Then she placed the folder on her desk and stared at it under the dim light. Tomorrow would be the dinner. Tomorrow the world she grew up in, the dynamics, the roles, the expectations would burned. She wasn't sure what would happen, but she knew one thing. She was not going as the good daughter anymore. Saturday evening arrived with a cold wind and a strange electricity in the air, the kind that makes animals run for shelter and humans pretend everything's fine. Lucia dressed in a clean, fitted blazer and dark pants. Professional, calm, unreadable. She grabbed the transparent folder, held it like a shield, and left her apartment. Footsteps SFX. Low rumble drone. When she reached her parents' home, she stood at the door for a long second, not out of fear, but out of recognition. This was the last time she would walk into this house as the version of herself they had created. She rang the bell. Her mother opened the door, beaming with pride that didn't belong to her. "Sweetheart, you made it. Paula looks stunning tonight. You have to see her." Lucia stepped inside and instantly spotted her sister. Paula was wearing a dress that looked like it was designed to show more skin than fabric. Her posture was new, her confidence purchased, her smile shaky. "But Lou," Paula chirped, "I'm so glad you're here." Lucia smiled back, a smile Paula had never seen before. Calm, sharp, final. Everyone sat at the table. The food was served. The conversation started. But tension, it sat at the table too, fork in hand, waiting. Dinner sounded normal at first. "Oh, Paula, you look so much happier. It really suits you. Confidence is everything." Lucia stayed quiet, cutting her food into perfect little squares. Then her mother, in her extraordinary talent for picking the exact worst moment, said, "Sweetie, maybe you should consider doing a little something too. Paula looks well, like she's on a different level now. A different level. Lucia placed her knife down. The table fell silent. "Mom," she said softly, calmly, "I actually brought something tonight." She reached into her bag, pulled out the transparent folder, placed it gently on the table. Everyone stared. Her mother laughed nervously. "Oh, honey, what's that?" "Work papers." Lucia didn't blink. "No, Mom, these are the documents for the police report and all the evidence of the identity theft you two helped hide." Paula's face drained of color. Her father froze. Her mother's mouth fell open. Mid-breath, Lucia opened the folder, laid the papers out one by one. The contract, her stolen ID copy, the forged signature, the denied mortgage, the police report. It was not an explosion. It was a slow detonation. Her sister whispered, "Lou, I didn't mean." Lucia looked at her. "You did mean it. Do you sign my name? Do you took my future for a cosmetic whim?" Paula started crying. Of course, she always cried when cornered. Her mother jumped in. "Honey, please understand, Paula was insecure. She needed this, and you're so strong." Lucia laughed, a small, sharp laugh filled with years of swallowed pain. "Yes, that's what you always say. I'm strong, meaning I can handle everything, meaning you can hurt me, and I'll stay quiet." She leaned forward. But not anymore. The storm had arrived. The table was frozen in a silent, suffocating bubble, the kind of silence that doesn't just fill a room, it pressurizes it. If sound had dared to exist in that moment, it would have apologized and left. Paula stared at the documents like they were radioactive. Her lip trembled. Her breath hitched. She looked like someone who suddenly realized they were the villain of a story they thought they were starring in as the main sweetheart. "Lou, please," she whispered. "I didn't mean for it to get this far." Lucia tilted her head, not cruelly, not angrily, almost scientifically, as if examining a specimen. "Do you forged my signature, Paula? Do you used my ID? Do you took out a loan in my name? What exactly did you think this far meant?" Paula blinked rapidly, mascara trembling like a guilty earthquake. Their father finally spoke, voice low. "Girls, let's calm down." Lucia didn't even turn his way, Dad. With all due respect, you don't get to mediate a crime you never bothered to notice. Her mother gasped like she had been personally stabbed by the word crime, which, was hilarious considering she covered one. Sweetie, don't say that. Mama pleaded Paula was insecure, and you've always been so strong. She needed help. Lucia smiled, a calm, serene, terrifying smile. Yes, that's the story, isn't it? Paula is fragile, Paula is special, Paula needs support. And I am the strong one, the reliable one, the daughter who doesn't take up space, the one you can use, bend, exploit because I can handle it. Her mother buried her face in her hands. Paula sobbed harder. But guilt does not erase responsibility. Nor should it, Lucia continued. You didn't just throw me under the bus, you strapped me to the front bumper and drove. Her words were quiet but sharp, clean, precise. Nothing hurts like truth spoken gently. Paula finally broke. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to do. I hated how I looked. I thought you would notice. Lucia laughed softly. Oh, I notice. You weren't exactly subtle when you posted 17 photos highlighting your new push-up bra. Paula looked down, cheeks wet with tears. Her father tried again. Lucia, this is a family matter. Couldn't we talk about this privately? Lucia leaned back in her chair. You didn't treat it like a family matter when you hid the clinic letter from me. You didn't treat it like a family matter when you celebrated Paula's surgery with my stolen credit. You didn't treat it like a family matter when you pushed me to bring dessert to a party honoring a crime committed against me. Silence again. But this time, it wasn't oppressive. It was liberating, Lucia continued. I'm done being the daughter who absorbs everyone else's consequences, her mother whispered. So what happens now? Lucia lifted the police report. The investigation is already open. The loan is under dispute. The bank has been notified. The clinic confirmed the document inconsistencies. This isn't emotional drama. It's legal reality. Paula's eyes widen. You actually reported it. Lucia blinked twice. Of course I did. Did you think I'd let you ruin my life because you wanted a confidence boost? Paula opened her mouth, then closed it. There was nothing left to say. Lucia had done something no one in that household ever expected. She chose herself. Lucia stood up. Slowly, elegantly, like a queen leaving a throne she no longer needed. I didn't come here to negotiate. I came to inform you. The law will handle the rest. Her mother cried. Her father stared blankly. Paula covered her face. Lucia picked up the transparent folder and slid it into her bag. Then she added, calmly, I love you, all of you. But love without respect is just emotional servitude. And I'm done serving. She walked toward the door. Halfway there, she paused, turned, and delivered the final line. Do not use my name again. For anything, ever. Then she left. The door clicked behind her. Soft exhale, SFX. And just like that, Lucia stepped out of her old life. Healing is strange. It's quiet. It's slow. It doesn't arrive with fanfare or applause. But Lucia felt it begin. 1 week later. The bank acknowledged the fraud. The debt was frozen. Her credit began rebuilding. The clinic confirmed the ID discrepancy. Police followed up on the report. And 3 months later, Lucia held a pen. A real estate agent smiled. A contract sat in front of her. Her own apartment. Her dream. Her future. She signed it with her real signature. Her real name. Her acclaimed identity. The keys jingled in her hand. She went to her new space, small, bright, imperfect, and stood in the doorway. For the first time in her life, she felt something rare. Freedom, the kind that doesn't need applause, the kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that comes from choosing yourself, no matter who it disappoints. Lucia looked around and whispered, finally, my friends. If this story didn't punch you in the soul, at least once, check your heart battery, because it might be unplugged. Let's debrief. A sister stole her identity. A mother covered it up. A dream was nearly destroyed. But Lucia, she rose. She protected herself. She reclaimed her life. And that, my little chaos connoisseurs, is the energy we should all be bringing into the new era.
Now tell me, what would you have done? Would you have called the police? Confronted everyone at dinner? Burned the emotional house down? Started a TED Talk on boundaries? Tell me everything in the comments. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, because there's more drama where that came from, and you know you love it.